One thing I did want to talk about on these linear bearings is that I bought these new, quote unquote, from Amazon. It's one of the few things that I've actually bought other than hot ends and ramps controllers and such, because I knew I was making a large bed printer and I didn't have large enough rails for this. But I bought these and supposedly they were new, and I still have the Amazon information up on this. These are the 570 millimeter bearings. It was a pack of 3 for $110. And I felt like I couldn't really pass that up and figured I had to try it. So I got them, and these, I'm confident these were used. They had scratches on them like they had been installed before. And because of my use or my previous experience with used parts, the first thing I did was take one and just tear it apart, take the wipers off the end, take the whole thing apart, get all the bearings out. It had metal shavings in it. The oil was contaminated. It wasn't clear at all. It was very cloudy. And so I flushed everything out and re-greased these, and now they're pretty smooth. They act like they're not brand new. There's a couple little spots that might catch on the very ends, but that was my experience with these parts from Amazon. I didn't bother returning it because I wanted large rails, and these were the price I was willing to pay for it. But as always, I guess you have to adjust your expectations whenever you order something online. One thing I like to do when I'm building a machine like this is I like to sketch out all my parts in Fusion 360 so that I can see the pieces that I'm trying to join together and put them in the right orientation and distance and spacing so that I can very easily build a piece to go in between this carriage and this rail that mounts up to the screw holes and everything. So that's one of the things that I do in these kinds of projects that makes it go a lot faster for me. Okay, so I started this print of this part before I left for work, and I come home to find this message on the screen, and here's what's on my bed. I have never seen anything like that. I've never seen anybody's pictures of anything like that. I have no idea what happened. It's, completely embedded in the hot end here. I am clueless. It's my first time I've ever had a big print left alone and watered up as something. Usually it's a big hairball, but now I have Boba Fett or some kind of slug. I have no idea what this is. Okay, so I meant Jabba the Hutt, not Boba Fett. Sorry, I'm hungry. So here it is removed from the print head. It had the first few layers done when I left, so it should be down like this. And I cannot tell you what would cause that, other than it looks like it just started extruding a lot and moving really slow. I'm going to keep this. This is pretty bizarre. But it also messed up my thermistor, and I was trying to reprint this, and it totally, the temperature kept jumping by 20 or 30 degrees, so ended up having to replace my thermistor, did a PID cal, and now this part's almost done. What I'm trying to do is make a part to connect my Y-axis bearing here to my X-axis bearing, and I've tried a few iterations here. This is one I did last night, but I needed to make some changes. So that's the beauty of 3D printing, is I can just make another one. So that piece should be done here momentarily, and then I can see how well it adapts here. That piece finished nicely. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got a slot on this side, and I've got nuts on this, so I can adjust this piece. Actually, what that means is I can adjust this piece to give myself better spacing from one side to the other. And then this is going to go on top of here, and I'm going to screw down into the carriage of this linear rail. So now this fits together much better than the other one did. So I've just got 2 screws in here right now. I'll end up with 4. So that's going to attach to my X-axis, and then I've just got a simple belt clamp here, just teeth on one side and a block on the other, so I can pinch my belt in there. Belt's going to go around this idler on one side, and come over here to the other side. I'll have to make a motor mount for this side. So I'm going to use one motor for one side of my Y and another motor for the other side of my Y. So I'll have two motors on it. I'll show you a cool trick I learned to do that. It's pretty cool. I also found some square aluminum tubing in the recycle bin at work, and that allows me to attach to my Z-axis mount, and I'll put something across here for a bed. I can just level this whole thing with one of the lead screws in one direction, and then I'll have some way to level it in the other. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I don't know how I'm going to do anything until I get there. But that's where I'm at right now. It's not as much of an update as I wanted. Life's full of problems. Oh well. Hey, I appreciate all you guys showing up and being interested in what I do. So thank you for watching this. I hope I can make it interesting.